Hello YouTube viewers and welcome to my channel. What shame gang? Hello guys. I don't know, every time I start a video on here I start hearing some noise. So good morning you guys. Today is Monday, April 29th. And I am coming to you guys today with the video speaking on when I was arrested back in 2022 and how God allowed his favor to shine through me even in my ignorance and pretty much got me up out of that jail. So anybody that knows me personally knows that I have temper problems, and so much so to the point where, well, let me say past tense I've had, because we becoming new, right? So we're not claiming that anger no more, even though I'm currently battling with anger and every day it does, get better. We ain't gonna claim that though. We ain't gonna claim that I have anger issues, okay? So let's just scratch that on out the equation, right? So anybody that knows me knows that I have always dealt with anger issues, right? And so much to the point where I would do things, and even though it probably was valid for me to react the way that I did, I could never see the logic side of it as to, even though it was valid, I should have not done it. Like, I would just think, regardless of what I did, they deserved it. And no matter how a person would try to make me see where I went wrong or how I could have walked away or how I could have just not reacted at all, I just never seen it that way. Like, once I'm angry and I do what I do or I say what I say, I don't care what I could have done differently, because I feel like you pissed me off, you pushed me to that point, so that's what you got, and that's just what it is, right? But we all know that regardless of how a person has wronged us, it's up to us to react, right? Now, if a person flat out put their hands on you and they're like abusing you, then you have to defend yourself, right? You can't walk away from a person that's constantly hitting you and just act like that's not happening. You have to, at that point, defend yourself. But then in cases where a person may say something out of their mouth, like if it's a way where you can just kind of like sit back and think before you react, then you definitely could have handled the situation differently, right? But me, on the other hand, like I said, like, it could be something a person said. Most times, the situations that I have encountered where because I've been locked up 3 times. And what's crazy, they have all been for the same thing: battery. Assault and battery, or battery with something else. So the first time I got locked up, I was a junior in high school. And I was locked up for assault and battery. It was a situation with a teacher. And I ended up going to jail, and I was locked up for maybe like 12 to 13 hours. That was the first time. So then, no, I'm lying. It's about 8 hours. Maybe 10. It probably was like 12 hours, because that was my first time getting locked up. So they didn't have my fingerprints in the system. And they had just passed the law to where you pretty much was an adult at 17. You were able to be charged as an adult. They still charged me as a juvenile though, I think, because I was like right on the border. And they, like I said, they had to wait for my fingerprints to come back. So I was in jail for at least 12 hours that particular time. And so I went to court for that. And the lady never showed up, and it was thrown out. So I'm like, oh, thank God. So, of course, it didn't show up on my record because it was thrown out. No conviction or nothing. So then the second time I got locked up, this is the year before I got pregnant with my son. It was a racist situation. The lady was racist, she was prejudiced, and I pretty much allowed her to push me to the edge with her unprofessional, because I was at a store. And I wanted, so the plan was to hit her, but she wasn't reachable. So I ended up breaking the register. I know, y'all. It's like, what? Like, it's like, if I can't, I don't know. It's like a tantrum, a temper tantrum. Like, if I can't get to you, then I'm just going to destroy whatever is in sight. Like literally, that's how my man operates, which is crazy. And so anyways, well, that's how it did operate. And so I ended up breaking the register. So then I ended up getting locked up for battery, assault, and property damage. Okay. And so that was the second time. And then I went to jail for that. The cop was, it was in Cicero, Illinois, which anybody that knows Cicero in Chicago, that's a racist neighborhood. So, or if you don't know, get locked up and you'll find out. So I ended up getting locked up. And when the police officer came, I had this Louis Vuitton purse that I had got from my auntie years ago when I was younger. And he was like, so he's being like all rude and stuff or whatever the case may be. And I was just kind of like, why is you being rude to me? Like, I'm not even in the wrong here. Like, yeah, I may have caused damage, but like that lady was being racist towards me. She made comments towards me out of unprofessionalism when all I was trying to do was check out. Like the lady, I ain't even going to that. We're going to stick to the most recent one. But I'm just trying to giving y'all the timeline of the patterns that I had with me reacting before I think. Okay. And so the officer pretty much was just like, being racist and prejudiced as well. And telling me, I pretty much was like, can he like not put my purse on the ground or something like that? And he was just like, is this even real? Is this even real Louis Vuitton? Like my wife has Louis Vuitton. And so I ended up pretty much snapping off on the officer. Like, what does that got to do with anything? I asked you not to put my purse on the ground. And then, like he just kept like talking crap or whatever. And then so when I made it to the police station, I was asking for his boss, because I'm like, bro, he need not to be on the streets, because what you said was very uncalled for. Like, what you hating on me for? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so he pretty much tried to apologize before we got there, when we was in the car driving to the police station. And I just was kind of like, whatever, And so anyways, now, boom, 2022. So the first time I got locked up was in 2007. Second time was 2012. And then the third time was 2022. Okay. So again, around this particular time, I was dealing with the young man that I was telling y'all about in the previous videos. And so these was one of those days where he kind of like pissed me off, because he was being toxic or whatever. And so I was on edge and I was irritated, because he had pretty much put me in a bad mood, right? And so on this particular day, I was actually going to a wedding. So my best friend had came into town at that particular time. And I had picked her up from the airport or whatever. And then we had ended up getting ready for the wedding. No, I'm lying. Rewind. We was preparing for the wedding. And so around this time, this is when I had the Tesla, when I was renting a car through Uber. So I had just got the Tesla, had the Tesla for like a week or so. So I'm like, let's go to the car wash and get a new car wash, fresh car wash, since we finna go to the wedding. We finna pop out the car looking all good and everything. Let's go get a car wash. And so it was a gas station on the corner where I was living at that time. And so I went to this car wash before, but I was going to like the little cheap car washes. You know how they got like the $3 to $5 car washes. They like $10 now, but the little express car washes. So I would go to this car wash, because I had to go through a touchless car wash for the Tesla, because it has a certain setting. It has a car wash setting that you have to put it in when it's going through the car wash. And it's sometimes Teslas have issues going through the like express ones where you got to put your wheels on and lock it and then put it in neutral. Teslas don't really do well with those. So I was going to a touchless car wash where you kind of just drive in, the ones that be at the gas stations, and the water just come out the walls and stuff like that. You're not locking your wheels on nothing. You just kind of drive in and put the car in park. And so it was a car wash like that at the gas station on the corner of my house. So I would go there, get the car wash, but then I would go down the street to the express car wash and still vacuum. So I'm like, I'm tired of stealing vacuum from this car wash. So I ended up going to that same gas station. And so I parked in front of the gas station and I walked in. So when I walked in, I literally walked in and I was like, now, even though I was kind of like in a bad mood earlier in the day, or dude had just kind of pissed me off, I was still cool. Like, it wasn't like I was being snappy or had an attitude towards everybody else. And so I went into the gas station and it was a black lady. It was two registers. It was a black lady to the left, and then it was I don't know if she was white or Hispanic or whatever she was, but she wasn't black. Her back was facing me. And so she was like doing something with the cigarettes. You know how they have like the cigarettes behind the register at the gas station, and like those hard, clear plastic compartments. She was like, I guess, putting them in order or whatever. So I leaned over the counter and I'm like, excuse me. So she didn't respond. I said, excuse me. So I didn't want to interrupt the other lady because it was a line of people. And the other lady wasn't doing nothing. She was just, like I said, it looked like she was just rearranging the cigarette compartments or whatever. So then I knock on the counter like, excuse me. So now it's the third time. She turns around like, don't you see me counting? Don't you see? Turned around like, don't you see me counting? And she turned back around. And I was like, first of all, I didn't know what you was doing. So now I didn't get pissed off. And I go off like, first of all, I didn't know what you was doing. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, and that's not how you talk to people. And so the other lady stepped over. Like, she literally put the customers that she had in line on pause and was like, I'm so sorry. What did you need help with? I'm sorry. And then so I was like, no, I was just trying to ask a question about the car wash. So I'm like, I normally get a car wash here, but I just wanted to know, like, do you get vacuum for free or do I have to pay for the vacuum? Because you know how the gas stations have like the section where they got the vacuum and the air at. So I'm like, do I got to pay for the vacuum, or is there any like type of package y'all have where the vacuum is included since I'm coming through the car wash? And so she was like, I don't know. And so she turned to the lady and was just like, so is that like, do we provide vacuum, or can you answer that question? And so she was just like, I forget what she responded and said, but I said, that's all I was just trying to do was ask about the vacuum. And so I said, but what is your name? I said, what is her? So I asked the black lady, like, what is her name? I said, where's the manager? So she turned around and said, I am the manager. I said, really? I said, well, for you to be the manager, you very unprofessional. I don't see how you got this position because you're very ignorant. And so I was like, she was like, so then I was like, give me, I said, what is your name? So I went to grab a pen because it was like a little cup with pens in it. So I went to grab a pen. She snatched the pen out of my hand and said, don't touch my pen. And she grabbed another pen, took the top off and slammed it on the counter. Then she pressed the little receipt thing. Like, you know how you can press the button on the receipt. Dang it, what is the name of it? Like so when the receipt comes out the machine, you know how you can press the receipt machine to get like a blank piece of receipt paper? That's what she did. So she pressed the button, it came out, she snatched it off, slammed it on the counter, and then as I was about to start writing, I looked up, you so deep ignorant. I said, that don't make no deep sense. That you a manager and you treating people like this. And she looked up at me and said, we don't need your business here. And so I received that as, nigger, like, I'm just keeping it above. Nigger, we don't need your business. You get up out of here. That's what I heard. I heard the nigger. She might as well have called me a nigger. Because what you mean you don't need my business here? What? So from that point on, as always, it was a social distancing glass. One of them hard plastic glasses in front of the register. And it was space on the side. So it was just like hanging with a chain. So it wasn't like a fully insulated glass window. But it was a hard plastic sign that was talking about like applying for credit cards at the gas station or whatever. Next thing I knew, I literally backhand, because the sound was in front of me. And I kind of like, you know how you just want to just like tell something up and be like, man, F you then. So that was what in my mind, I guess that's what I was trying to do. Because I wanted to hit her. But instead of hitting her, I kind of just like reacted with hitting what in front of me. Like kind of say, man, F you then. And to like walk out. And so when I went to backhand the sign, y'all, I kid y'all not. I backhand the sign and I hit it so hard that it was like slow motion. I literally watched it. It was like it happened in slow motion. So I hit it. Boom. All you heard was like a loud pop noise, right? So the people on the side, they jumped. The actual object went underneath perfectly. It went underneath the social distancing glass, over the register, smack dead into her face. So it's like I smacked it right into her face. Wow, boom. And then it, boop, and it hit her like right here. And when it hit her, her head flew back. And when she came back up, her nose started like leaking blood. And she was like, get that. So she picked the sand. She picked it up and she tried to throw it back. But she missed. And so I bag up. And then now I punch, I swing. But again, it's a glass in front of me. So when I hit the glass kind of pushed and hit her again. And then she was like, get the F out! Get out of my store! So now, I don't get no F you. I was like, you the one that started it. So then I leave out. And I walked out like super calm. Like on some, I ain't running or nothing. I just kind of like, F you. Like you started it. So she threatened to call the police after I hit her. She's like, get out, I want to call the police. I said, call the police. I'm like, you started it. So then I walk out. And I walk up to the car, cool, calm, collective. I get back in the car. So my friend is sitting in the car waiting on me to come back out. Because I just wouldn't have asked a question about the car wash. Like when I tell y'all this happened within like 2 minutes, it was so fast. I know it sound long because the way I explained it, but it was a super quick situation. And when I came back out, I'm like, man, I said, we finna have to have this car. So no. When I first got in the car, I looked at my friend. I said, I just bust this lady nose. And she was like, no, you didn't. Like, you got to know my friend to understand. Like, she kind of just started like, she like, no, you didn't. Like, girl, what you talking about? Because she knew I went in there to just go ask about the car wash. I came back out, cool, calm, collective. So I looked at her. I said, no, Belinda, I'm serious. I just bust this lady nose. She like, what? So now I was like, we finna have to have this car. So I pull out the gas station. Now I'm going down the road. Now, while I was living there, baby, the police comes quick, honey. They don't have nothing else to do. So I'm like, we got to go. So she was telling me like, okay. So I'm telling her the story and she like, oh my God, Tierra, how did you do that? And she was like, need to really calm down. Like you can't allow your anger to pretty much keep getting the best of you like that. So I was like, no. So I'm trying to explain, like, how the lady was pretty much, she was mean and racist for no reason. Like, I could tell she was prejudiced without her even having to say the nigger word. Like, I could tell, like, the way she was acting and treating me for no apparent reason. I came in there super calm, super nice, just trying to ask a question about the doggone vacuum. That's it. So I kid y'all not, I pulled up because my friend's mom stayed in the same complex, like literally like a few rows down. So she told me to take her home to her mom's house because she was finna go get in the shower. Even though I had 2 bathrooms, she was gonna go get dressed at her mom's house because that's where her clothes was at. And so I was like, so I took her home and I heard God clear as day. He told me to tell her to come to my house to get dressed. So I'm like, Belinda, I said, just grab your clothes and come get dressed at my house. She was like, wow, I want to get dressed over here. I said, Belinda, please, listen. I said, I really think I need to have this car. So at the time, my truck was in my garage. And something in me was just like, put the car in the garage. Put the Tesla in the garage and put your truck in the parking spot. But I didn't feel like doing all of that. And I really didn't think, when I left, I was just like, okay, it happened, whatever. I'm thinking I was cool, but I literally felt it in my soul. Like, God literally warned me that the police was finna come find me. Okay? So I'm telling my friend, like, we need to park the Tesla somewhere. She was like, girl, they is not finna come look for you. I said, Belinda, the police is about to come get me. She was like, girl, no, they not. She was like, you left, and that lady probably ain't even called. I said, no. She was dripping blood everywhere. I know she called. And there was too many people in there. There was too many witnesses. That lady is embarrassed. She definitely called the police. So, y'all, I finally convinced her to go in the house and grab some clothes and to come down to my house to get dressed. So, I'm in the shower. So, before I got in the shower, I'm getting my clothes laying out or whatever. And as I got in the shower, I just felt it in my spirit. Like, I just kept hearing God saying, like, get prepared. They about to come get you. So all of a sudden, I'm in the shower. And my friend, she's in the other shower. My friend get out. She come in the bathroom. She say, Tiara, the police at the door. I said, I told you. So now I'm mad. I told you that was finna come. So she like, what you want me to do? I said, go answer the door. Like, what you gonna leave them out? We gotta leave. It ain't no back door up in here. Where we gonna go out the patio and climb down the doggone balcony? It's only one way in, one way out. So I was like, go answer the door. Just go answer the door. So she went to the door and she came back up and she said, they waiting for you. So I'm like, I said, what did you tell them? She was like, I told them. She said they asked her, do you know who drive this Tesla? Because the Tesla was in front of my door. And she was like, no, I don't. So she lied to the police and told them she didn't know who drove the Tesla. Then they said, can we get access to your Ring doorbell? She said, give me 1 second. And she closed the door. She came back up to tell me that they was asking who drove the Tesla and they wanted to see the Ring doorbell. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, okay. So I finished. I'm in the shower and I'm just overthinking, like, Lord, I'm finna go to jail. So I'm just in the shower like, Lord, please. Like, I don't want to go to jail. I got a kid now because I hadn't been locked up since I had my son. I have been doing really good. Like, I ain't going to say I ain't had situations where I should have got locked up, but I didn't get locked up. And so this particular day, my son was not at home. Thank God, because I would have not wanted him to see that. But normally he would have been home. But I had ended up taking him to a babysitter. So I'm just glad that everything happened the way that it did. And so I'm in the shower just talking to God like, Lord, please, please, please. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to have to, I don't know. I don't need no case. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an adult and it's my 3rd one. Like, Lord, please, please, please just, give me grace. So the doorbell rings again. So she like, they ringing. I said, all right, I'm going to go to the door because she was scared. She didn't want to deal with it. So I went downstairs and I had my towel on. I was still naked. So I opened the door. I peeked my head out. They said, so then the officer said, did she, it's somebody, he said it's a new person. He said, did she forget that we were down here? So I was like, y'all can step in. So the police officer came. They looked at, it was two of them. They looked at each other. It was a white one and a black one. So they stepped in. And I said, y'all coming, y'all looking for me. I did it. And so the officer was like, okay. And so I went into detail and I told him from start to finish how it happened, how the lady was rude to me, how I hit the sand. I was not expecting the sand to hit her. It went underneath the doggone glass and boop, hit her dead in the face. Bust her nose wide open. And so the police officer was like, okay, well, we did review the video and everything that you said is accurate. And he said, so how do you want to be charged today? Do you want to be charged by the state? Or do you want to be charged locally? So I was like, so I'm finna go to jail? I was like, I ain't even physically hit her. Like, I didn't, like, I said, had I known it was gonna get this far, I would have beat her up. So the officer kind of just looked at me and was like, okay, well, you don't want to say. So he had his body cam. He said, oh, you don't want to say that. You being recorded. I said, I'm just being honest. I said, now I probably should have not acted out of anger and hit what was in sight, but had I known it was going to get this far, I should have bust her nose physically with my hand. I should have just beat the brakes off of her. I said, because that lady was being rude to me for no reason. And she should be the one getting in trouble. And so I was like, she snatched a pen out my hand first. She snatched away from me. She was being nasty to me for no reason. So the police officer was like, I understand, but unfortunately we can't charge someone for being unprofessional and for being rude. But what we can do is charge someone for causing bodily injury to another person. And he said, and unfortunately, that's your situation. Regardless if you hit her physically or you threw something at her, whatever the case may be, there was bodily harm caused. And when we got there, it was blood everywhere, and she was still trying to clean it up. So I'm like, I said, I want to be charged locally. So now he looked at me. He said, okay. I said, listen. I said, please listen. I said, I'm about to go to a wedding. We literally are getting dressed. The wedding starts at this particular time. It was like 4 something. The situation happened around 2 something. The police ain't come to my door until like 2 hours later. So then they was like, we were looking for you. I say, y'all couldn't have been looking for me, because if y'all came over here first, because literally my complex was next door to the gas station. I said, if y'all came over here first, then y'all would have seen the car was sitting in front of the house the whole time. Like, the car been sitting out there the whole time. I didn't run. She told me to get out. I left, and I politely came back to the crib to get dressed. She told me to get out, so that's what I did. And I said, I'm not dodging it. I ain't denying it. I said, I came right back to the crib and parked right in front of my door. I could have hid the car. So the police officer was like, okay, we understand that. We get that, and we appreciate you being honest. He was like, you'll be surprised the stories that we hear, but we thank you for your cooperation. But we need you to go upstairs and put some clothes on so that we can go ahead and get you processed and get you processed and lock up. So my friend sitting there, she looking stupid in the face. She's actually mad because she feel like I'm ruining her day. She came out of town to go to this wedding, and then here I am getting locked up. And I was the ride. I was the transportation to the wedding. So she's standing there and she's asking them, so what is y'all about to do? Is y'all about to lock her up or what? And they was like, yeah. So then the police officer, so let me tell y'all what a favor came in at. Even though I was in the wrong and I caused this bodily harm to this woman and all this other crap, and technically I left, which would be considered me running, but I didn't run. She told me to leave, so I left. I went right down down the parking lot to the crib. And so the police officer, I pretty much told him, like, please, I have to go to a wedding, like, please. He was like, okay, look, this is what I'll do. He said, I am recording. He said, but I'll make a deal with you. He said, since you cooperated and you're not being like super irate and you're calm and you told me the truth, he said, he was like, you could get your clothes, grab your clothes that you're gonna wear to the wedding, bring them with you. He said, you can get dressed at the prison if you want to, or it's your choice. He said, but I promise, because of you cooperating, he said, I'm going to take you down to the station, process you, and you will be out within 20 minutes. I'm like, you promise? He like, yes. He's like, 20 minutes tops. All I need to do is get your fingerprints, run your background, get your picture, your mugshot in the system, get you an I-bond, and then you can get right back out. So I'm like, all right. So then I left. So my friend is mad. Okay, she ain't caring about nothing else but the fact that she's supposed to be at this wedding. Okay, now I can't tell a person how to react, but had it been me, I wouldn't have cared about the wedding at that point. Even though my friend did it and put herself in that situation, I would have been a little bit more supportive. But my friend was also, I'm going to this wedding either way, and pretty much I need to fend for myself because I put myself in this situation. And so I ended up going. So when I left out, I went outside. And so when I got outside, I'm about to get in the back of the police car. And the police officer was like, turn around, put your hands behind your back. And he get to reading me my rights. And I'm like, bro. I'm like, so you finna put these handcuffs on me outside? Like, you could have did that inside. So now I'm in the parking lot and the whole world is watching. The whole complex. So I'm pissed because I'm like, bro, you embarrassing me right now. Like, you could have did that in the crib or just let me get in without the handcuffs. Like, why would you do this outside like this in front of everybody? So he was just like, ma'am, this is part of the procedure. Can you please put your hands behind your back? So I put my hands behind my back, and now I'm just pissed. And so he put me in the back of the car. Now I got an attitude. So I'm like, I hope I don't end up snapping on this officer, because then the 20 minutes is going to definitely turn into 24 hours or possibly through the weekend, because it was a Friday. Normally, when you get locked up on a Friday, you going through the weekend and not getting out till Monday. Most times that's how it happened. Well, I don't know about, well, that's how that county is. They so racist in that county I was living in. And I was literally, when he asked me, do I want to be charged by the state or locally? He asked me that because the head prison of Illinois, which is Stateville, was 20 minutes away from my house. So he asked me, do I want to go to Stateville? No, I don't want to go to Stateville. I don't want to go to Stateville. And anybody that knows, Stateville is well known. Like, it ain't even, you ain't even got to be from Illinois to know that prison. So, anyways, I got in the car, and so we driving, and he like, so, how's the Tesla? Man, I was looking upside the back of his head like, do it look like I want to talk about a freaking Tesla right now? But I was like, it's cool. He like, do you own it? How much did you pay for it? I said, I'm actually renting it. And so, like, he just was like, I was thinking about getting a Tesla. So he just, asked me all these questions about the Tesla. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear about no Tesla. I said, so, what's going to happen? I said, so, okay, you lock me up or whatever, and then what? He like, well, you'll just have to wait until, oh, no. You'll just have to wait until, you'll just have to wait until you go to court or whatever. He said, and whatever you do, just plead guilty, because if you plead not guilty and you go to trial, you could possibly get XYZ amount of years or whatever. And so I was like, okay. And then so he went back to talking about the Tesla. And I'm like, I do not want to talk about this Tesla. I'm trying to talk about what's finna happen to me. I don't want to go to prison. You know what I'm saying? And this lady gonna take it far. I could tell, because she already look like she miserable. So fast forward, boom, I go down to the lockup. And he kept his word. I was out of there within probably 15 minutes. He ended up taking my picture, all that stuff, did the album, blah, blah, blah. And so then he lets me call my friend. He even let me keep my phone. And so, normally they put it in the bag and you got to come back and pick it up and all this extra stuff. And so I'm trying to call her, but my phone wasn't working in the prison because the service or whatever. And so, sorry, y'all. I just accepted the order. And I'm about to throw it right back because 30 cases of eggs is crazy. This must be for a school. Let me see. Okay. So I ended up, and I gotta kind of speed this up. I might have to come back and finish it because I accepted the order, and they only gonna give me so much time to go do it. So, anyways, um, so I went through the lockup process. I'm calling my friend, and so I'm trying to tell her to come get me, and she was like, I don't know. So she was irritated. She was like, I don't know how to get in this car. I'm like, put the key fob up to the door and it'll open. Because, you know, a lot of people don't know how to get inside of a Tesla. So I'm trying to explain to her. She's so irritated that she's not registering what I'm saying. And then she like, I'm going to just leave the keys here. I'm about to, you know, go. And I'm like, so you're not going to come pick me up? Like the jail was literally like 5 minutes away. I'm like, so you're not going to come get me? I have to go to the wedding. So she was thinking about the wedding. She didn't give a care about what I had going on, none of that. And so the officer was kind of like, so she's not going to come get you. He was like, just don't, let me go ask. So he was like, let me go ask my boss if it's okay that I could take you back home. Once again, favor. Like, because like all this, bro, they don't owe me none of that. I'm in jail. I didn't get locked up. You know, most times people have bad experiences when they get locked up. I've had bad experience with the other 2 times I got locked up. And so, he came back and he said, come on. He was like, let's go out this way. They said it's okay that I could take you back home. So I'm going to just, you know, take you back. And so then when he was pulling the police car around so I can get in it to go back home, she was pulling up and she was like, I figured out how to get in, blah, blah. So when I got in the car, she had an attitude and all that other stuff. And I'm like, girl, she was like, no, because you should just handle it differently. Like, you didn't have to react that way and blah, blah. I said, yeah, that's cool and all. But like, had you been in that situation, I wasn't thinking at the time. She snatching stuff out my hand like you're literally provoking me to get angry. So that's neither here nor there. So then we went to the wedding, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, court came. And court was like a month later, I want to say. When I got to court, I'm just like, I prayed about it. I'm like, Lord, I'm sorry. Like, please allow this case to blow over like it never happened, blah, blah, blah. And so I ended up going to court and she didn't show up. And I'm like, okay, yes, Lord, they're going to throw it out. Because any other time I've had cases and they didn't show up, it was thrown out. Oh, no, baby, not in this county. Not in this county. Baby, they had a law where they didn't have to show up. And you could still be charged. You know, it could still stick. Like normally when a person don't show up, the victim don't show up, it's thrown out automatically. No. It was like a subpoena. I forget what it was. I want to say a subpoena. I may be saying the wrong word, but she didn't have to show up. She signed a subpoena. So I get up to the judge, thinking they finna say you're dismissed, and she said she looked at the state, the lady, the state representative, and said, "So, what you want to do with this case?" And I look over, and she picked it up. So you know how they could throw it out. The state picked up my case, bro. I say, Lord, what's happening right now? You're supposed to be getting me up out of this. So I'm like, oh my God, the state picking up my case. From that point on, they gave me a fine and they told me that I was gonna be charged with battery and a ordinance for the start because it was a public place. And then they gave me a fine. And so she was like, how do you plead? I said, not guilty. Take it to trial. For real. Because y'all got me messed up. So I took it to trial. And so they gave me another court date. And they said if she doesn't show up, then it'll be thrown out. Man, I came that next court date and she showed up. That lady stood in front of the judge, bro. And lied. She told the judge she ain't never snatched no pen out of my hand. She said that I came into the gas station angry, cussing about an air pump. About the air pump machine not working. She had a whole lie made up, bro. I ain't had no witness with me. I wish I would have been able to go back and try to grab the black lady that worked there, but she probably wouldn't have testified with me because she worked there. This her job. And my friend, she was in Arizona, so I couldn't use her. And so the lady stood in front of the judge, put her hand up, took an oath, and lied in front of the judge and said that I came into the gas station aggressively, complaining about the air pump, and then got mad and just hit the sign. I was sitting there looking upside her head. I said, and I couldn't hold it. I said, she is lying. The judge said, ma'am. I said, she lying, man. She lying. I'm like, oh my God. I say, so I let her talk. I said, all right. So I asked her, when it was my turn, they allowed me to ask questions or whatever. So I said, why, when I came to the gas station, you was XYZ, and then why did you tell me that y'all didn't need my business there, and why did you snatch? She said she didn't do any of those things. Like, I was just a mad, angry black woman that just came up in there starting stuff. They played the video. I said, where's the audio? They said, there is no audio. I said, there is. Bro, we in 2022. You mean tell me ain't no audio? I bet if a person came up in there with their face fully covered, robbing the store, I bet y'all have audio then. So there's no audio. And the judge looked at the lady and she was like, no, there is no audio. I said, I'm gonna obtain that audio. I'm gonna find a way to get that audio. And so the lady just was looking stupid in the face or whatever. And so I was just like, so when it was my turn to talk, I just told the judge, like, the fact that this lady, so I told her from start to finish what happened. I explained the video as it was playing. I said, I came in there calm. Look at me. I said, I was standing there calm. I was saying, excuse me, multiple times. I tapped on the counter, like you could see all the actions, how I explained the story. I said, look how she turned around with an attitude. Where in my body language did it show that I was angry? Until I said, look at her associate step over. She trying to help. Then you seen when I got mad and I hit I even think that when she snatched the pen out of my hand, I don't remember if that was in the video or if they kind of like edited it. I don't even remember. But all I know, that lady sat in front of that judge and lied on me, bro. Switched the whole story with recording. I said, so I told the judge, I got so mad to the point where I started crying. I was like, the fact that we living in a world where people can be nasty towards you because they're prejudiced. I said, this lady is racist. I said, the fact that she's a white woman or whatever her nationality is, and y'all gonna sit here and believe her when she was the aggressor in the beginning. She literally provoked me to become angry. The way she turned around and approached me and everything. Snatching away from me, all of that. She provoked me, bro. And I said, and the fact that because a sign was hit and ended up in return busting her in the face, I didn't even intentionally try to do that. But the fact that her provoking me and being unprofessional towards me, and she's able to sit up here and lie, like what she did was not valid, that she didn't do any of these things, is crazy. Because I'm the one that's being charged. Nothing that I say holds weight. And so the judge just looked at me and she looked so remorseful. She was like, you know what? She's like, I believe you. But unfortunately, because there was bodily harm caused, that's why this case is standing. She said, I know what you're saying is true. I believe you. But unfortunately, because you reacted in a way where physical harm was done, that is why this case, that's why, you're at risk of being found guilty regardless. And so the lady was just like, so I'm sorry that this happened. She was like, but unfortunately, that's the way that the law works. And so then from there, she was just like, we found you guilty and blase. And so she gave me a fine, but she lowered the fine. It was a few things that she got rid of. she gave me some grace, and she was just like, as long as you pay this fine by January 2023, she was like, it won't be a conviction. Just pay the fine, and the conviction, it won't be a conviction. It'll be, you'll be found guilty, but it won't be, it'll be like a judgment. But it won't be a conviction on your record. So it won't be able to be, they won't see it when you apply for like jobs and stuff like that. And so I was like, all right. And I kind of just like let my hands down. I said, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. You live and you learn. And so they took the lady out the courtroom when they pretty much sentenced me with, or charged me rather, found me guilty. And then I left. And so when I left, they waited until I left to let her leave. Like, they watched me go to my car and everything. Like, bro, I'm not finna touch this freaking lady. Like, as much as I wanted to, I'm like, bro, she ain't worth it. Like, the fact that I even allowed her to get me to the point where I'm in this position is crazy. And then she had just started working at the gas station. So I think to myself, you in your 50s, 40s, probably her 40s. But they look, I ain't gonna say what I'm finna say because that would be ignorant. But she was in her 40s or something like that. And I'm like, the fact that you just got this job, you like lets me know that something's wrong with you. Like, clearly you get fired everywhere you go or something. Like, something's wrong with your character because you shouldn't even be just getting this job a few months ago. Like, girl, bye. Like, you're miserable clearly, and you take your misery out on customers because you don't like your job or your life. So, long story short, that situation had happened, and God really showed me grace with that because it could have been way worse. I could have been in lockup for a whole weekend, but that officer literally took me, kept his word, put me in there for 15 minutes, and I got right back out, bro. Like, I was so grateful for that. They had remorse for me, and they allowed me to go and enjoy their wedding that day. And so I still ended up going to the wedding. I'm gonna find a picture and show y'all. I posted this the same day on Facebook, bro. You would have never known that I went to jail that day. Like, I was happy. Like, you just never know what people be going through. And like, I'm not the type of person that posts my personal business on Facebook. You got people that do that. They be looking for attention. But when I tell y'all, you would have never known or thought that I had went to jail, bro. Never known. Let me find a picture. This is the picture, right? So this is the picture, y'all. The day I got locked up. Bro, you would have never, ever thought that I got locked up that day. I'm talking about I was cute, could tell me nothing. So, yeah, God definitely gave me grace with that situation, with all the times I got locked up, actually. Like, his hand has truly been on my life, even in my ignorance. And so, even since I've been in this new place, I've been tested. And I failed miserably. So, God is definitely working on me with my anger. Definitely is working on me with my anger. And I am claiming full deliverance over this anger. I am coming to a place where I am like really dissecting and digging deep within to see what was the root, where did it come from. I know it's from my childhood, of course, but just exactly what stemmed the anger, what sparked the anger rather, and why am I still like harboring it and holding on to it? Because like I really have a issue with patience. And like I said, when I get mad, it's like sometimes it ain't even logical. It's all emotion. And it's just like, however I feel in that moment, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, some of the thoughts that I have had in my head caused by anger. I can't even believe I've thought those thoughts, but anger is very dangerous. Very dangerous. Can't be played with. And so I'm going to I've looked up some scriptures, pretty much referencing anger. And so I looked up this article on Google, and it says righteous anger is governed by God's love and therefore slow to be expressed, allowing redemptive acts of love to be pursued first, if at all possible. We truly want mercy to trumpet over judgment for others. James 2:13. Remembering Jesus' mercy towards us, and that he first came carrying a cross before coming bearing a sword. And then I came across another, it was on the same article. It says, Jesus said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. John 14:15. And one of his scriptures commands is be angry and do not sin. And so I looked up the scriptures, James 2:12-13, and it says, talk and act like a person expecting to be judged by the rule that sets us free. For if you refuse to act kindly, you can hardly expect to be treated kindly. Kind mercy wins over harsh judgment every time. And let's see. Then I looked up the scripture, John chapter 14, verse 15-17. If you love me, show it by doing what I've told you. I will talk to the Father, and he'll provide you another friend so that you will always have someone with you. This friend is the Spirit of truth. The godless world can't take him in because it doesn't have eyes to see him, doesn't know what to look for. But you know him already because he has been staying with you and will even be in you. And then another scripture for anger is Ephesians 4. And this is the King James Version. And it says, be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Neither give place to the devil. Let him that steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands, the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but what which is good to be used of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And then I looked up the Message version of Ephesians 4, chapter 4, verse 26-30. And it says, go ahead and be angry. You do well to be angry, but don't use your anger as fuel for revenge. And don't stay angry. Don't go to bed angry. Don't give the devil that kind of foothold in your life. Did you used to make ends meet by stealing? Well, no more. Get an honest job so that you can help others who can't work. Watch the way you talk. Let nothing foul or dirty come out of your mouth. Say only what helps. Each word a gift. Don't grieve God. Don't break his heart. His Holy Spirit moving and breathing in you is the most intimate part of your life, making you fit for him. Don't grieve God. Don't break his heart. His Holy Spirit moving and breathing in you is the most intimate part of your life, making you fit for himself. Don't take such a gift for granted. And so those are the scriptures that I came across pertaining to anger. And what I know for sure is that one of the reasons why I've always been a reactor before a thinker is because I have always struggled with proving a point. and how I just want to be like don't play with me, pretty much. Like I've always had this, oh, you want to try me, I'm gonna show you type of mentality. And that has put me in a lot of messed up situations. Prime example, that little nipple right there, that little permanent little, I call it a little nipple. I had a situation with my baby daddy when I was dealing with him back in the days, as to where I used to always try to fight him when I didn't get my way. Like when he was out here being a whore, I demanded that respect. Like, dude, like, I'm finna put my hands on you. And so I used to try to fight him all the time. And so my baby daddy, he the type, baby, you finna put your hands on me, I'm put my hands on you. And so, yeah, we was definitely toe to toe with that. Like, he wasn't finna let me hit him, and I wanted to let him hit me, and I wasn't finna not hit him. And so that's how I ended up getting this little permanent little nipple on my lip because of my temper. Because I tried to stab him, and he had to bust me in my mouth to chill me out. And I had a hole in my lip, and he healed like that. So, anyways, yeah, y'all, anger has really put me in some jams. Road rage and all. Like, I done had some road rage situations, honey. I'll come on here and tell a story about that one day, too. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I'm about to go do this order. I pray that this made somebody laugh. It's not funny. Just sharing my stories, man. Just sharing my life. And anger will destroy you. But by the grace of God, he has really had his hand on me in my ignorance, bro. Like, real life. God has really had his hand on me in my ignorance. I could have been dead a long time ago, the situations that I have encountered. I could have been dead a long time ago. A person could have, you know, gotten revenge off the things that I've done to them out of anger. And I'm just so grateful that God has really kept me and has protected me through my ignorance and through me dealing with this spirit of anger. And I'm decreeing and declaring that I am delivered, and I can't wait to share my testimony of how God fully delivers me. Like, anger has really had a stronghold on me and has really interrupted my peace on so many levels. Like, I can't even drive without being angry because I just get so irritated with road rage. And it's just like, I'm decreeing and declaring though, like, I will be healed from that, bro. I will be delivered from that. And I will dig deep and really find the root to it so that I can kill that thing, because anger will no longer live here anymore. I can't deal with it no more, because I'm telling you, God been sparing me, baby, and keeping me in Jesus' name. So I pray that this video was informational. I pray that it encouraged somebody. Like I said, I'm just sharing experience as to when God grace was on me even in my ignorance, okay? And so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I hope that y'all have a blessed day. Be a blessing to somebody today. Don't allow nobody to steal your joy. Be a blessing to somebody today. Real heavy on that, okay? Whether that's speaking a word over them, whether that's giving a stranger a hug, whether that's giving a person a smile. Be a blessing to somebody today, all right? You are a walking vessel. And y'all be blessed. Be safe. I will see y'all in the next video.